Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are comparing two of the Ryobi hedge trimmers, the 20-inch 18-volt Ryobi handheld hedge trimmer and the 40-volt 24-inch hedge trimmer. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so again we're comparing the 18-volt and 40-volt Ryobi hedge trimmers. So first off, with the 18-volt trimmer, obviously it's a 20-inch versus the 24-inch for the 40-volt. A couple other differences, and we'll throw up some of the specs here on the screen. But right off the bat, one of the things about the 18-volt that's different is the hand guard is actually a little bit bigger. I don't know if you can see it there, but the hand guard on the 18-volt actually seems to do more to protect. Obviously now you're going to be wearing gloves and hopefully long sleeves and eye protection, but the blade guard seems to be just a little bit bigger on the 18. Not sure why. It's also clear, which is nice. You can see through it to your blade to see if there's anything lodged or getting any buildup happening. The other thing that we really like about the 18-volt, and again, probably not recommended, but you can use this one-handed. It is balanced just right so that you can get stuff that's high and kind of use it one-handed. You wouldn't want to do that prolonged, and obviously safety concerns say that you should probably use two hands, but in those rare situations where you needed to reach something and use one hand, definitely an option with the 18-volt, where if we look at the 40-volt, using this one-handed is simply out of the question. There is no way to safely, even remotely, think about using this one-handed. Balance-wise, even though the battery's on top and it is top heavy, it wants to fall over, at least over to the hand guard. It is actually balanced pretty well on the secondary handle on the front, but again, it does leave your hand exposed. I'm curious as to how protective this really is, other than just minor deflects there up close. But otherwise, the added 4 inches on the blade is nice. Both come with the guard. You can slide off this plastic guard, and that's something that we've recommended in the previous video on the 18-volt, is to keep this plastic guard. It doesn't seem like some people might just throw it away, but definitely recommended to keep that and protect your guard. If we take off the 40-volt, now one thing that you'll notice with these is the gap is very similar. There's actually, as far as what the hedger can handle, the thickness of the tree limbs or the hedges that it can cut is actually very similar, a lot similar than we had expected, although that does keep you from going after maybe brush that's too big. Another thing that's interesting to note is the 40-volt model isn't as aggressive looking as the 18-volt. The 18-volt has more of a arrow tip, where the 40-volt is more of a rounded, blunt tip on each of the blades. One other thing to note is this is thicker or longer in this direction. Even though the blades aren't further apart, there is a little bit more length this way between the 40-volt and the 18. So the 40-volt has a little bit more length this way to give you a little added cutting area, where the 18-volt's a little bit thinner that way, just as a comparison there. So as far as operation goes, again, battery on the top here slides in, the 40-volt battery, any of the Ryobi 40-volt batteries there. Safety is a pull with your thumb, and the entire handle on the 40 volt is your trigger. So if we pull the safety and then trigger, you can see there, and then simply letting go to release. Now, one thing that's nice about it, once you pull the safety, you don't have to hold your thumb in that safety position. You can actually let go and then just grip the handle and remove your thumb. And we'll show that here. So, and it's able to continue operation that way. In comparison, the 18 volt model is a safety on your index finger or your thumb. So it's on either side. You can push that in. Once you've pushed it in, I prefer to use the knuckle of my index finger and then pull. And in this case, the trigger is only on your index finger. So using that to hold the safety, you can pull. Just like the 40 volt model, if you hold the safety, pull the trigger, you can then slide your hand down, release the safety, and continue holding the trigger. Like that. Again, as far as weight goes, we'll throw up the weight difference on the screen here. Obviously, 18 comes in a little bit lighter, partially because of the shorter length, 4 inches less, and the batteries being a little bit smaller. So something to take into consideration. We'll throw in some of the footage using both of these different models. All right, guys, so again, this isn't exactly an apples to apples comparison, more of just to show you some of the differences between these two. Obviously, use cases are gonna be a little bit different. If you need that extra 4 inches in length and you already have the 40 volt batteries, definitely the 40 volt model is probably the way to go. But if all you have are the 18 volt batteries and your collection consists of mostly 18 volt, the 18 volt hedge trimmer might be the better way to go. It's really more of a preference and which batteries you have at that time. Quick shout out to Steve, one of our buddies that actually gave us this 40 volt model to try out. He bought it not realizing that it didn't come with a battery and charger. So that's something to consider as well. The 40 volt comes in a little bit more expensive. The battery is a little bit more expensive, and the charger. Got to take those into consideration, where if you're already in the Ryobi 18 volt 1 Plus family, definitely going with the 18 volt models makes more sense. Again, unless you need the extra 4 inches in length. Again, that's our thoughts, not really a preference one way or another, just some of the differences that we saw in these two different models. So guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, hit that little bell icon to get notified each and every time one of our videos goes live, and check out some of our other links in the description below. Thanks for watching, guys. What else was I was gonna say about that? One other thing we'll show is some of the, we'll also put some of the, what's it called, footage using it. Way out. 18 volt is a 20-inch blade. What would that be called? Hedger. It's 20 inches long. That's what we'll just do that. 2605, 4601. 2605. I'm not going to say them. We're going to grab a step stool, a step stool, a step stool. We're going to grab a step stool wherever we may go. Dee-dum, dee-dee, dee-twiddly-dum, dee, dee-dum, dee-dee, diddly-dum, dee, dee-dum, dee-dee.